Excellencies, welcome to the second session of the Preparatory Committee for the Financing for Development 4. And I have to say, it's been a long time since I've been in a room where there's been so much energy. The last time was civil society and gender issues. For this to be on finance, clearly it matters that we do have the means of implementation and the countdown for 2030. So thank you all for bringing that energy into this room. At the first PrepCom in Addis Ababa in July, we took stock of our progress since 2015, and we set an ambitious tone for the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development. Shortly after the Addis PrepCom, our co-facilitators issued a call for inputs, generating close to 300 contributions, a truly inclusive stakeholder gathering. This reflects the high expectations that you, member states, and other key stakeholders place on the Financing for Development Summit. These inputs have informed the Elements paper, which includes proposals to deliver transformative change across the Addis action areas in Seville next year. It is a truly ambitious reflection of what everyone is expecting, so high expectations, and therefore we cannot falter. We all know that the SDGs have stalled, and they can only be rescued in the countdown to 2030 that's giving us 5 years by unlocking the scale and the quality of finance required to power investments, by loosening the grip of debt service that is crippling dozens of countries, and by protecting economies from the external shocks that characterize today's interconnected world. Yet, you are all here to maintain the momentum and ensure a high degree of ambition remains. Yesterday's academic day started us off in the right direction, with substantive discussions on the latest research and policy recommendations on the international debt architecture, on feminist fiscal policy to meet the SDGs, and on global tax reform. I hope these panels inspire you as you consider the proposals that are being put forward by the co-facilitators. But let me highlight a few. Domestic resources are at the core of development financing and the compact between citizens and states. No country should fall below a minimum of resources raised so that it can meet the core obligations to its people. It is time for us to establish a commitment to support all developing countries to raise their tax to GDP above 15%. We must also do better in mobilizing private investment. After 10 years of billions to trillions discussions, we still don't see the results at the scale or the impact required. Let's make firm commitments to do better on blending, to focus on impact, to utilize instruments at scale, and to align with national priorities. On international development cooperation, we must revive our discussions around and the commitment to effective support. In addition to increasing international public finance, we must do better with what we have. FFD4 also represents an important opportunity to fulfill the vision articulated in the Pact of the Future on the financial architecture reform. Let us address debt with bold ambition and create a debt architecture that truly empowers sustainable development. Building on important reforms to date, next year's conference should lay out clear and actionable roadmap for expanding the capital bases of multilateral development banks. In Seville, we must transform special drawing rights to make them more effective for future crisis response and unlock their full potential through rechanneling via the multilateral development banks. Finally, at FFD4, we must pledge concrete actions to strengthen the voice and representation of developing countries in international financial institutions, ensuring that they become genuinely inclusive and more effective. This would be real and transformative change. I urge us all to be bold, push the boundaries, find where we can aim higher, and make sure that your reforms match the scale of ambition that is needed for the 2030 agenda. Let us honor those commitments for a more sustainable, peaceful, and prosperous world for all. Thank you.